Yo, what is happening? Me and Pocket Sizzle say yo at the same time, man. I got a little gifty here from Pocket Sizzle we're going to open up later via Ocular Rhombus. Let's see what is going on for episode 102. Let's get the ball rolling. As you can see down below, Swarmco is in the house tonight. We do have some giveaways throughout the interview because Swarmco is generous enough to bring a couple of those with him this evening. We're going to do some opens from Resin Blood, Ocular Rhombus, Green Plastic Tunnels, The Real Bernhardt, and there is a Resin Blood Pendragon collab in there we're going to take a look at too. So thank you for coming in. Thank you if you're watching it on the replay. Let me do one thing. Let me send this link to Swarm real quick, and then we'll get the ball rolling here. Next week, going to be a great show next week. We have Cave Dweller Toys is going to be in the house next week for an interview. We also are going to do a drop on the show for her toys. Going to be the first drop for the Toys Alive shop, which is going to be a good one. I've seen the piece, and it's amazing. So let's see here. All right. Sorry. 1 second, guys. Okay, cool. There's the link over to Swarmco. We'll see what happens with that. Let's see, man, who is in the house already? Let's go. Bootleg Toyco. Oh, man, you should have that Shane any day now, my man. Wichita, Kansas, better look out. Lynn's the Rap Boy. What is up, dude? Suki, Zimit Co. Let's see, Mr. Ordinary Cool Cat. Pocket Sizzle, Slightly Adrift, Stormico, Dirty Yeti. Who the fuck are we? Stormico Station, Dirty Yeti. Bro, Pocket Salsa says, give me a donut. I'm telling you what, man, that place was not down the street from me today, but just down the street from my house. Like seriously, 2 minutes walking distance. There's a beautiful park down there. And Pikmin, what's up, dude? And what I found out was there's a real estate agent in the area somewhere that is... One second here. There's a real estate agent in the area somewhere that is having these. There's not a lot of houses for sale over here, so I don't know why that is. But what she's doing is bringing food trucks down to the park over here, and it's just no. Actually, I was trying to get Swarmco set up. That was my bad on it, man. I didn't. If anybody ever does an interview on here and I forget to tell you, you have to run StreamYard through Google Chrome. It's the only way that it works for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. And that was totally my bad. I did not tell him that. So as soon as he gets in here, we'll jump to him. But the food trucks down there, they just show up and they're random ones. And I'm driving by yesterday and I see this picture facing towards the street of a donut with ice cream coming out of it. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So I pull over and I take a look, and bam, sure enough, that's exactly what it was. Jazzy. Swarmco, I can see you, my dude. Just let me know whenever you're ready, man, and we'll bring you in. But yeah, so anyways, that's the deal with the things down the street. I've never seen that before. I actually watched a little video of how they do that. It's a donut. They cut it in half. They put the ice cream in there. They put it back in like a panini press. Pull that down. Bam, there you go. Nice hot fresh donut, ice cream. Very nice. Hopefully they'll be back tomorrow so I can go down and just kind of hang out. And Yeah, yeah, Stormer. That's what I was doing, man. I was ordering a bunch of donuts here. Um, yeah, diabetes for sure, man. Akashic, that's for sure, dude. That's like a can't have too many of those, man. But you do have to treat yourself every now and then. Anyways, so yeah, next week, Cave Dweller Toys coming in. We are going to talk about the upcoming GI Joe show, the GI show coming up in a few weeks. That'll be really cool. Terrible Toy Works will be in the house to help me present that one. We'll do a piece by piece the night of the show, so that'll be really cool. And then also next week, we also have the Toys Alive Big Cartel shop opening with a Hurt Toys piece in there. Like I said, I've seen the Hurt Toys piece. It is sick. It is sick. If you're a fan of Hurt Toys or just action figures in general, it's definitely going to be for you. There is going to be a run of them. Ooh, Pikmin just jumped in the GI show. Very nice. Cool, man. Yeah. Let's see here. What else is going on? Oh man, the chat, you guys are too much. Mr. Swarmco, whenever you are ready, man, just shoot me with a thumbs up, dude, and you are ready to go, my man. Uh, this is gonna be good, man. I'll tell you what, so we were talking before the show, just over the last few days of kind of the content that we're gonna present tonight. And the more I talk to Swarmco, the better I think this interview is going to be, because I think he's going to hit on a lot of stuff that a lot of people have questions about. Vinyl production, run times, production times. That's all stuff he's very familiar with. I'm excited that he's going to be able to talk about that, because I know there's a lot of people that have those questions out there about vinyl in general, and just, hey, I got an idea for a vinyl toy. Where do I go now? So that'll be very cool when we talk to him. And then we're also going to take a look at some of his upcoming shows that he's got. He's got a couple of those, some upcoming pieces, got a couple of those. He also sent me the link to a couple of YouTube videos that we're going to check out of some really cool stuff that he has on there. So going to be a great interview, man. You let me know when you're ready, my man. Good to go. All right, here we go. Swarmco. Let me get the right banner up, dude, so we can look at all your stuff there. Bam. Here we go. Coming to the stage, Swarmco.
What? Party people in the house.
Oh, that is awesome, dude.
B to the J and everybody in the house. What is up, everybody? Hi. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to keep this. I'm already sweating, so I'm gonna keep this off. I'm already sweating up. So hey, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Dude, man, that is awesome, dude. First of all, I apologize for the mix-up. That is the one thing that I always forget, is the Google Chrome. I realize that I don't know what it is. A lot of people don't use Google Chrome. I don't, and it makes me do it just for this. So
yeah, man, I'd be honest with you. That definitely was a little bit of a tricky one for me, especially me not being a computer guy. I'm straight up honest. I am not. I don't even know how you're seeing me right now. But hey, we're here. I'm so stoked to be here. I mean, hey, man, this is I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. Got a lot of stuff to talk about, and
we sure do.
Slow my roll down, because sometimes I tend to get a little excited, so I just gotta take a couple step back and breathe in a little bit, and we'll go for this little ride, man. But yeah, how you doing anyway today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm busy. Work is busy. The show is busy. There's a lot of good stuff going on right now. It's hard to cover everything.
Oh, man.
There's a lot. It's a good time, man. I've talked to a lot of people just over. I talked to a lot of people just in general, anyways. But the general feeling, I had somebody reach out to me the other day and say, "Man, I feel like there's something happening here. Steam's picking up for some reason." I don't know if it was traffic to their page or just kind of, a combination of conventions and shows and everything kind of happening at the same time. But it does, man. It seems like it's, we're on a really good streak here. Before we get too deep into it, who the heck are you, man? What do you do?
Oh man, what do I do? Well, my name is actually Michael McCreary, and I go by the artist name of S.W.A.R.M.M. Man, I've pretty much, what do I do? I like to create, man. I'm a creator. I like to dibble dabble and come up with unique ideas and kind of make those unique ideas hopefully come alive while staying true to myself and
Yeah,
kind of yeah, kind of sticking with what I love and with kind of what represents me kind of growing up as a kid.
sure,
You know, even just from, I mean, I starting there, I mean, we can, that just kind of opens up the door right there. Just,
sure.
just from being a little kid, from my, from my father, just raising me with just, watching sci-fi movie, horror
Mm.
movies. 'Cause I'm a 70s kid. I was born in 71, aging myself, all good, not even tripping. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Believe me, I'm feeling. If you see me walk at convention, man, I'm like a penguin. I'm like, "Quack, quack, quack." Man, I'm having a good time, just seeing everybody. I'm just gonna go for it, yeah.
dude,
So,
I'm laughing as I'm holding my rib cage from going to
oh
the
my
Spanish.
goodness, dude. And I mean,
That would be a good idea.
we'll get into that later on too. How why I'm walking around like a little penguin, but it's okay because that's it's all the process. And I mean, we get there by all these little ventures and stuff, and that's you got to take the good with the bad. And sometimes when you get older, obviously you're feeling the bad. But anyway, going back to like, man, my dad would always like, take me out to go see the, Creature from the Black Lagoon 3D movies, Clash of the Titans. I remember going to see that, the 80s version, back in the day. Obviously watching Creature Feature in the Bay Area. And there's a few other places that it was being broadcasted back in the day. Watching those shows just, molded me. And I was just so fascinated with all that stuff that, early on I messed around with clay early on that
Yeah.
like, yeah, man. I would always just like pick up clay and just play around with it. And I remember my very first figure, I wish I had it, but man, that thing's long gone, but it was a little skeleton I made that was coming out of a coffin. He was just kind of like, and I just visually remember that to this day. And I think maybe obviously that's why I love skeletons and all that stuff.
Sure.
Who doesn't, right? Harry
Right.
Hoffman, of course he's gonna freaking definitely influence all of us from all those, still animation, even at this day, you have people like Skinner, and that posse just diving into that realm,
Yeah,
which is
sure.
just amazing. You know what I mean? It's just, it's awesome, dude. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So,
And what age are we talking about when you first started that sculpt that you're talking about? This is stuff as you have
you
for
know
you.
what? I'll be honest with you. Like when I was a little kid,
Yeah.
I would say this is probably maybe 8. I was
Okay.
around 8 years old playing with clay. I mean, even early on. See, the thing is, I was born in a religious family, which was kind of somewhat, you get kind of sucked into your house sometimes, and you're like, oh no, you can't go outside and play. Bad association sometimes. That was sometimes my life as a kid growing up. That definitely loosened up later on down the line when you get older and you start to have a voice as
Yeah.
a young man. You know what I mean? You start to say, no, I'm not dealing with this stuff. I have to be my own person.
Sure.
But at the time, you're inside, and sometimes you're like, oh, what am I gonna do? Well, let's reach to the clay. Let's go out and play with some sand. Let's build sand castles. You know what I mean? Let's build these things out of whatever you have out there, man. I remember my mom had these little hair clips, and they've turned around and they look like a little spaceship, dude. And I remember playing around with those because
Yeah.
even back in the day too, we didn't have very much money, so we kind of made up. You kind of just find stuff, whatever you got to do. You make up with whatever you can make good with whatever you have, at that time, which was awesome for creativity. You know what I mean?
For
And
sure.
now,
And
yeah,
it almost seems like a lot. I don't want to say it's a lost art, but I think as we get further along in time, there's all these distractions. I mean, that what you just mentioned right there, I think a lot of us can relate to that as far as going outside or the parents saying, "Hey, go outside and play."
oh
Um,
yeah,
and there's so much less of that today with phones and video games and
right.
everything else. Um, but yeah, man, I think that is a little bit of a lost art going outside. And I mean, and look what it's done. I mean, that was obviously a breeding ground for you as far as creativity goes. We're
Oh,
talking about
100%.
digging into dirt and sand and stuff like that and clay. And it's just
100%. Going
yeah,
out and venturing, you know what I mean? I
for
mean,
sure.
um, that was the thing with back in those times too. My dad was really into videotape. He always had a video camera on his shoulder. I mean, I say shoulder because back then that's what it was. Dude, they're huge. I mean, it's like, so he was always filming, always recording, always messing around. So that was pretty cool. I was like always intrigued with that. And the thing was with that, we would always do these crazy special effects and crazy like I did some still animation with my dad back in the day. I think I even sent you the little photo of the still animation.
You want
Like,
to take a look at that?
I mean, if you got it handy, man, that's awesome.
I
If you
do,
do,
man. Yeah,
oh, look at this guy. He's
let me bring
this
that
guy-
up,
bro,
dude.
bro. How long
This
you
is
been
awesome.
man?
Okay, now give me a breakdown real quick. Tell us exactly what this is. I see the title of it up here, but tell me what this is.
Okay, I mean, this is basically me, my dad, my cousin, and I guess my sister's actually in this, I think, and Dougie, which was a kid down the street that we hung out with. You know, luckily he had the Nintendo, so
Yeah, there you go.
but I had the Atari and the Intellivision, but hey, he had the Nintendo, so I would always, you know. Anyway, so yeah, this was just like my dad would always gather like little home movies around the house and film us and make little, almost like little, I don't know, man, commercials or interviews and special effects. I mean, you're going to see kind of an example right here of like what my dad's all about and where I kind of, I got most of it from right here. So, and as you can see, he spelled monster wrong, but hey, you know, this is a white trash neighborhood. We, you know, like I said, not
That's
very
so
educated, but we're good. We're good. We love it. We love it.
Absolutely. So this is 2 minutes, 47 seconds long. It does have audio. We're going to jump into this right now. If you can't read the bottom, it says 1980s home video, special effects with the family still motion Star Wars.
You guys enjoy it. Check this out. I mean, this is fun.
This is awesome.
If anything, you're going to get a kick out of it. So there we go, man. Oh man, yeah, good memories. And this little scene right here probably took us like a day and a half.
Yeah, sure.
If not a week.
Look at that. Now, what was this shot on, dude? Do you even remember?
January 1981.
So,
the ship has just taken off from a destitute.
Sorry to interrupt you, but real quick. Now, back in the day, if you can see, that is actually an AT-AT that my dad built for me because we could not afford one at the time. So he built one out of wood. Me and my dad built one out of wood. We put an elevator in there, the door hatch open. I mean,
and there's my Lena.
And then we could kind of go into more special effects. This is where my dad was just so creative and just kind of messed around with special effects and made it very interesting. I mean, you guys know all this stuff. This is not, you know, nothing new. But for us back in the day, the 70s and 80s, which I think this was 81, we're having a blast doing stuff, man. And that's definitely where my creativity came and you know, just having a blast. I mean, come on. I'm sorry, but you know, I gotta laugh about that. That's me. That's my cousin. That's little Dougie back there. Yeah. So, I mean, I know some of you out there are probably, what in the world is going on here? But this is all trick photography back in the day, man. I was the Bionic Man. Obviously, the Bionic Man. Come on, look at that. I really did that. Trying to beat up my cousin. Look at this. Right? Like, yeah, this is it's just nuts, man. It's just nuts. I love it. I love watching it.
That is so cool, dude.
You know, it's the family stuff that kind of molds you. You know what I mean? To you know where you're on. Maybe right at the time you don't think about it. You may not think about it till.
There's a neat spaceship.
This is the weirdest stuff.
I wasn't there at that scene. Well, here, Michael can tell you about it. It's Captain Zark on the planet Ark. And it's a hairy planet, but we just got off of it because it was too hairy. There's hairy monsters on it and all over. And there's my friend Dougie. Isn't he hairy?
You know, hey, what you gonna do, right?
Dude.
Oh man, I love that stuff though. I love it. I love that stuff. You know, and that's the thing too. So many people didn't have that opportunity to have a dad that actually, at that time, everybody's like, dude, shut that thing off. What are you doing filming us every single, you probably couldn't even take a crap without all of a sudden him being like, hey, I got you. So all that stuff, though, now you have it. You know what I mean? So for me, I cherish it, man. And that's what's kind of like molded me to probably, what I'm doing now. But I don't know. Whew.
That's awesome, man. Like you said, I mean, with the stop motion, I mean, I know stop motion in general takes forever, but doing it back then, I mean, like you said, probably a day and a half for that one short little scene, dude. But
Right.
some great memories, dude. It's awesome that you were able to kind of preserve those on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I just been finding them, and I got you find these little things that you can transfer it over and stuff like that. So
yeah,
but I mean, the thing is too, as for toys, and collecting toys back in the day, as you can see, I have a few here and there. Man, I cherish those toys, so dearly.
sure.
I love them, but I remember going into like Long's Drugs back in the day and going to the toy section, and the Soundwave came out, and he was sitting up there, and I remember, Mom, Dad, can I get enough? Sorry, hey, we can't get that for you. And I remember them walking away, and I remember opening it up, and I didn't take Soundwave, but I took a cassette. I mean, I guess in my mind, I was thinking, oh, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? I took a cassette.
Yeah.
But I had to, that because that era, I mean, I loved it, man. Because I had some GoBots, I loved all the GoBots. The GoBots were awesome at that time too.
Yeah.
Even though there's that Transformer GoBot war. But the one thing though, as soon as I found out about skateboarding, everything kind of like disappeared. Like I was fully focused on skateboarding. Like that there was no, and that came about. I mean, I was skateboarding on my cousin's boards when I was a little kid, down the hill. And I just, it was always in the back of my head, but my mom was always, you're going to kill yourself. You're going to fall and break your neck. Like we all are, we get it. I get it. So it took a long time for the convincing, and obviously when that time came, it was like, you got to wear your elbow pads and knee pads and all that stuff. And I'm like, I'll do it. I'm down as long as I can skateboard. So it's like when I got that skateboard for the first time, that's when, pretty much toys I didn't even do nothing except because, skateboards are expensive, man. And if you're learning, you're going to break them here and there. You're going to crack them. And, so you got to spend all your lawnmower money on getting another skateboard, basically,
Dude, I'll never forget my first skateboard. I think I was in probably 3rd grade. And like you, not a lot of money. So, action figures and toys were few and far between. Atari 2600, though, I did have that. And of course, my first skateboard was a Nash.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And so back in the day, Nash isn't really a skateboard that you brag about, but I used to like to just sit at the top of my driveway and just roll it down the driveway out into the street like an idiot, right?
Dude, I had a Nash too, was the first board too.
Nice.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, all good. So, I roll it down the driveway one time and a car comes and rolls it over. And that was legit the last skateboard I had, the first and last. My mom was like, that was dumb. So she was right. It was dumb. But it's very cool, man, to know that, gosh, dude. So what age do you think that was around for you?
Well, it was 6th grade. I know that because I remember, and it was April and I was 6th grade and it was 85, 86. I know that because I've been tracking that down because I remember we had some kind of religious event that night to go to. And I remember my parents saying, we'll get you a board at Price Club after this event. So, you know what I mean? That's going to stick in my head because that's a memorable moment, bro. Yeah, so it's kind of a, so I always remember April, that day. And I remember going down there and getting it. Strapping on those soccer pads,
right?
And just going outside and falling, man, and just falling and loving it, and just falling, and just keep on trying. And I had a passion for it, dude. I think
and you can tell that it's still there, man, because if you see your content or follow you at all, you can see that, especially with pieces like the Kaiju Cruiser that comes out, the skateboard kind of carrying through, your creative process there. So at some point, you at some point you get back into toys. How much later on was that, man? There's so many other aspects to you, dude. The DJing and stuff, the store. I
Yeah,
I don't know if there's enough time to cover all that stuff because
probably
there's so much
not.
going on with the vinyl and the toys.
Hey, look you know what I
Bro, I
mean?
will say as long as you want, man. I
Oh,
got
yeah.
nothing to do tonight, my man.
I was I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? But I was like, I hardly ever get to talk to people, and
Yeah.
I don't know, I get a little nervous because it's like I don't know. I've always kind of mixed up with my conversation, my talk. I don't feel like I have the right speech, but at the end, man, I just got to realize I'm talking toys, just talking the love and the passion of what I love, what you
Yeah.
love, what a lot of everybody else loves out there. So if that, if that's all good, I mean, the whole thing was, here's the thing. Going to back up a little bit with skateboarding with me. It honestly drew me to music and skateboarding drew me to everything. I would almost say skateboarding led me to everything. And I'm going to tell you what. So I started skateboarding, fine, got skateboarding. Then what happened was skateboarding one day, my friend's ramp, and I used to always help my friend DJ, you know what I mean? Up on the turntable, on the ramp. So I loved it. And then one day my friend's like, he's like, dude, look what I got. And it was a mixer, all beat to shit, dude. It was aluminum foil, like fader. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. He's all, dude, I just got it for free, man. And I'm like, what? Oh man, I always wanted a DJ. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I just can't afford it. He's all, boom, hands it to me. And I'm like, what? And he's like, dude, here you go. Do what you got to do with it. I'm like, oh shit. Next day, I go down and buy a fucking cheap ass turntable. They told me buy Techniques, save up for Techniques. I'm like, no, man, fuck it. I need to get myself a turntable. I need to do this now. Which I did it, got it, started mixing, started scratching because I like the visible scratch pickles. Sure. I was really into like African Bambaataa and come from back in that day. So it's like, sure. Man, that really gravitated me. So once I did that, me and my good friend Chris Gringo, which a lot of you see at conventions at DesignerCon and Monsterpalooza. He's the real tall guy. He's the buddy that always helped me. Yep, Chris and Gringo. Yeah. He's my buddy. Yep, love the dude. He's on. He should be listening right now, which is awesome. Nice. So yeah, we ended up teaming up, and we got our first turntable and mixer. Got some gigs and started doing that. Yeah, and then from there, that's when I ended up going out picking for records. I ended up picking maybe a Godzilla up here and there because I was like, I love Godzilla. Oh shit, I'm looking for records, but there's a Godzilla right there for $2. Okay, cool. There's an Ultraman. Cool. Started collecting all these cool toys that I didn't. Okay, cool. I'm just start doing this. Yeah. Then through that, I met a guy that owned Mantiques, and I'm like, oh. He's like, hey, dude, why don't you come over and you put all your stuff in a case, all your extra stuff, and you can sell it. I'm like, what, really? I'm like, okay. Put my records there, put some extra toys there, that I just got on flipping for $1, flipping for 20. Started doing that, started really getting good at that, started buying out, started doing estate sales. From there, we have this big, huge, gigantic store now, that's now owned by Miguel because my buddy moved, but we have like 8 people. We're all friends. It's like all friends and family. Each of us get a little cubby hole. You know what I mean? And we it's not really a cubby hole. It's a big cubby hole.
Yeah.
But you guys probably have seen some of the videos on, my Instagram and stuff. So
yeah, dude, it's amazing. That store there's a couple stores up this way. I'm not very far from you, man. I'm up here in Vacaville, which is
you're right down the street.
Yeah, I'm like an hour away. And actually, man, yesterday I was out in Berkeley for most of the day, and my meeting out there went way long, dude. I know that you're only there certain days of the week, and I wanted to get down so bad yesterday and shoot by there. But one of these days, Hurt Toys and I have already, we talk about it all the time, that as soon as he gets a free Saturday.
That'd be awesome. And even if you guys pick a different day, because then that way I can kind of show you around. That way I'm not stuck at work.
Yeah, that's true.
If there's any other day you guys want to go that you want to go, I just meet you down there because I'm only like 15 minutes away.
Nice.
So always cruise down, but it's an amazing experience that we have there. Because I do get to keep my figures there, which is totally awesome. Because people go there and go, what's this? You know, I'm seeing these GI Joes, these Star Wars figures, and all of a sudden I'm like looking at this thing, all these things on the shelf. I have no idea what's going on, but
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I love it. I love it.
So, at what point? So the Mantique store now, and you're putting your kind of collection in there. Do you remember one certain event or a certain time frame or something where you said, "It's time for me to start trying to produce a toy," whatever
Yeah,
that.
we'll get that. Yep. That's on the timeline. So basically, this is what happened. I started doing these toy shows, right? And who do I meet at one of the toy shows? Because he was local at the time. Drew, unaffiliated.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he would go to the San Jose toy shows because he knew, you know, the guys that threw it on Time Tunnel Toys in San Jose.
Right.
So I remember walking up on him, I think, one show, and this is his very, very first, his, like, I forgot the name of it. It was the Bounty Hunter mashup, where it's all the bounty hunters. And I got number 2 and number 3. Like, I was like, dude, these are dope. Because you know, you're looking around and being an old monster and you know, you want something different. And especially kind of the thing is, working at a store, you really kind of start to get desensitized from the norm. You feel me? Like, you know, how many times can I love Boba Fett. I love him. But how many times can you see him and go, yeah, you know? So when I saw his mashup of all the freaking bounty hunters I dug, I'm like, whoa, bro, what's going on? Started talking because, you know, I always like Clay and I always like messing around. He's, oh, dude, this is how I do this. We instantly kind of clicked. He ended up coming down to the shop. I carried some of his stuff at my shop. I'm all, dude, we started talking. I was showing him my little resin pieces. Like, see, I got some of these resin pieces that I did back in the day, dude. These are like little weird dudes. I just, you know,
nice.
I don't know. I just, you know, messed around. I call this, I don't even know what, I forgot what I called them. Like that guy, I did like, you know, these little mushroom series of like little mushroom resin guys.
Now, when you say back in the day, man, give me a time frame for that.
Well, this, I guess back in the day is like 2007, well, 15. This is 2015.
Cool.
14, 15.
Cool.
So I started messing around again with resin. Once I met him again, I was like, oh, I'm going to dip into this. I want to, you know, cool, I can do this. Like, he kind of put it in my head that, oh, you can, you know, yeah, you can do this, start it up. I'm like, oh, cool. So I started doing that. Then he planted in my head, he's like, hey, if you want to make a figure of your own, I'm all, yeah, and turn it into vinyl. He's all, actually, yeah, but how in the hell do you do that? And then he was pretty much, he said, dude, we can do that. But unfortunately, at that time, I think it was his father passed away, and he moved away with his wife, and he kind of, you know, which totally understandable. You know what I mean? Needed some time, just, you know, handle some family business. So I ended up meeting Scott Martin Thomas, which I don't know if any of you know Scott Martin Thomas or familiar with his work. If not, man, find him on Instagram. I'll tag you. I'll tag him to tag you and whatever. I just got to get you network with him. He does beautiful work. He's the one that, you know, that did my Mecha Creech, which I'm showing you an exclusive for Palooza right now.
I'm gonna give you a full. I'm gonna give you a full screen, man.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, this is basically, this is obviously the Mecha Creech. My man Scott Martin Thomas actually did the sculpting work on this. I mean, amazing work on that. And then here's another one I just did. Here, check this out. I'll give you this. This is another exclusive for Monster Palooza coming up. I got a little light on that one.
Ooh, that is sick.
I know it's bright in here, so you probably can't see it. So I try to mask off just the certain areas, just so it's like kind of, you know, certain areas are popping on it or whatever. There's that one.
Blowing my mind right now, dude.
Watch out, dude. Put on your sunglasses, bro. Here's another one. I got you. So here's one more that I got for a Monster Palooza. And then if they don't sell a Monster Palooza, they're gonna go online on what do you call it? On my swarmsco.com, you know. So there's that guy. I do a couple of these every once in a while. And then speaking of Scott Martin Thomas, keep it there for a while. He did my sculpt of obviously my Kaiju Cruiser, which this is another exclusive I will be bringing down for Monster Palooza coming up, man, very, very shortly.
Damn.
Dude, I'm dude, I hear there's another one I just did. Here's another. I'm just gonna flash these because I don't, I know
God,
you
that's
probably.
great.
Here's another one. There's another. I mean, I always do the grip tape in the back, man. I mean, they're fun, man. I have a blast with these. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you though. As much as I'm having fun painting all these up,
Yeah.
and a few people have picked them up. They're
Mhm.
not as good as I was anticipating, sales wise. But the thing is, when I create my toys, like I said, I kind of do it for me, and I'm gonna do this figure no matter what. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really, because I mean, the Mecha Creech, if I listen to all the little birdies on my shoulder saying, "Don't do that, too much stuff going on," it would have never happened. So I was like, "Nah, man, I gotta kind of make my thing happen." Oh, you guys already saw the my big old, like my Hedora I did, right? And I was like, this is gonna be an exclusive for Monster Palooza too.
Oh my yeah, dude.
It was fun. Now, this one is the one I posted up on Instagram, as a little show. But yesterday, I just finished this one. I did not show anybody yet, and I'm going to be bringing this one to
God.
to Monster Palooza 2 as a one-off. And then
Holy
these are fun. Yeah, there's a little place that I picked these up at, and then I can, everybody seems to like them at Monster Palooza and DesignerCon. So, I mean, who doesn't? Smog Monster Hedora freaking in the house, right? Oh, and he's also, I mean, you barely.
Yeah, for sure.
You get it.
My God, dude.
I mean, man, but then obviously, this guy. This Evil Dave did this one.
Sick. I have mine right here.
There you go. Wait. There you go. Let's have them bark at each other, dude.
Yeah. There you go.
No, I'm kissing his ass. I guess I would be sniffing, right? I'd be sniffing. Hold on. Let me sniff, make sure we're all good. Sorry. What are we
These are awesome, man. I think I picked this up at DesignerCon maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I remember you walking up. That's the thing, man. With designer cons are so it's so overwhelming, bro, that I almost feel bad sometimes because I really want to talk to you more. I want to talk to so many people way more. Thanks for showing up, man. That's awesome.
Those are hard, man. I mean, you try to have conversations, and then even just as somebody who's there as a fan and a collector, you definitely see what's going on with other with people as they're talking. You don't want to interfere with that or mess up a sale.
Right. So I guess that's good to say, and throw out there. It's like, hey, if I'm short with you sometimes, please do not take that as offense, man. I would, if there's any time that we could chit chat and talk toys, man, I'm always down. And if you ever have a question or anything, I'm always down. Let's have a talk, man. So
there you go.
Just throw that out there real quick.
Dude, here's another one that I got. Now, I think at the first DesignerCon that I saw you at, I think was the year before. And I think I was going to get a turntable tarantula, and I picked it up. And then I saw this, and I'm like, this dude is definitely coming home with me.
Yep, I miss you, baby.
Oh God, I love this one.
And then I always get the seller's remorse. It's like, oh man, I wish but that's the one thing I do love is I love supporting my fellow artists out there, buying their toys if I can, a blank, and then just doing what I can, and then throwing it out there to the world because it's awesome, man. It's awesome. I love doing that.
That's the optional arm. This is the sucker piece from Ophelia Toys.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Such a fun. He's
awesome. Maybe I'll bring him on a field trip with me, man, and you guys can reconnect.
Oh man, I'd give him a big kiss. Yeah. I love that. He's a great guy, man. Yeah, I love all of his work. His paint style is awesome. His figures are sick, and he's a great dude. He's always, there's some artists out there that I'm going to give him a shout out at the end of this interview, but I'll save it for them. But that have just really been nice enough to reach out and help me during the process. I mean, I'm one of those guys that does reach out, and I'll be all, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? Or how's this? How's that? Not too buggy. I mean, obviously there's people that ghost you, and then there's people like, that give you the time of the day and boom. And then those are my friends right now. So, and I thank them from day one for helping me to get to this point. Because I mean, I can't believe like that I'm actually here and I've actually got my own babies. You know what I mean? Around the world, like that's
Yeah.
it's unthinkable, man. So humbling, so humbling. I love it. I love it.
So, dude, let's talk about your paint real quick. One thing that I noticed, I think on your page when I first started following you, dude, I don't even know if it was a toy post. It was a post where you were filming the trains out by the shop, and you were
Oh yeah,
just filming all the
it
tags on
is.
the side of the train.
Yeah, man.
How far back does that go to you, and how and did that have any influence on your uh, painting vinyl?
You know what? I mean, I've always been fascinated with the graffiti. Obviously,
Yeah,
it's being a '70s and '80s kid back in the day, and I would always, you're always tagging stuff up, and I'd always fresh, man, and your name, Mike, with you know buildings behind it, flame. I was always messing around with that stuff and doing that stuff and seeing it around my area, especially my area where I was. You know what I mean?
sure.
You go to schools tagged all the time, and the tracks were right there for me. I was at a dead end street with the tracks right there, which we would always play at. And obviously, what's at the tracks? Trains with what? Graffiti. So I'm seeing all these different graffiti getting influenced. So it was, I mean, it was beautiful. I loved it, and it definitely was one of those things that sunk in my head and has influenced me. Would I say am I a major graffiti head? I wouldn't say no. I don't know every graffiti guy out there and all stuff,
Sure.
but I fully love it. I respect it. It's definitely influenced me over the years. What kind of graffiti do I go for? I like the old wild style stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
funky and all these lines and bubbles and stuff. I like that stuff. I
Yeah.
was just mentioning that to somebody the other day. You got so many different artists, but I respect everybody. You know what I mean? I might
Yeah.
necessarily not enjoy that style as much, but I respect that artist fully. You know what I mean? Because they
Yeah.
put in their work, man. Everybody puts in their work, and I love it. But yeah, I love all the bubbles and funky stuff, man. That's always been cool.
Yeah, and like I said, man, the Bay Area. It sounds like you grew up in the Bay Area, as did I for the most part, and it's everywhere, man. I mean, and as bad as some places are, you can always find some dope graffiti out there, man. It seems like it's everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
I'm
really is.
always I'm always scrambling when the trains are going by to see if I can get them because there's always some amazing graffiti. But it seems like there's a customer or something. I'm like, all right, come
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
on, I got to get out there and film this train, lady.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I know that we wanted to talk about tonight, and it's probably a good time to bring it in,
Yeah,
is actually going into production of vinyl.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Kind of take me through and take everybody through. You have this idea of, okay, I want to make my own toy in vinyl, and I think it's a lot. It's a point where a lot of artists are right now. I maybe not a lot, but I've heard it from several people where they're kind of at that point. Maybe they've even made one or two vinyl toys.
Right.
But what does that process work? Where do you even start on vinyl production? And then what kind of issues do you face? Whether it's lead times, um, not having the vinyl made right next to you. Take me
Right.
through some of that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are definitely a lot of different variables to this. But I mean, the one I would say first off, don't rush into it.
Mm,
Don't jump on the first bandwagon that's coming your way. It may be a good company and great situation, but maybe just research that company, research who you want to work with, whoever's reaching out with you. So it took me about, I'd say maybe 6 months to a year to actually like find somebody for my Mecha Creech. And
mm,
this is for production. And the reason being is like at first I was at Designer Con, when I had my resin, the resin prototype. I think that was 2017. I was walking around with this, showing everybody, super stoked, just super hyped. And I was finding out, hey, how can I get this produced to vinyl? Who do I talk to? Who do I talk to? You
sure.
know? And I remember talking to Paul Kaiju, and he was like, hey, he's an Unbox, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me go talk to Brian over at Unbox. So I went over to Unbox, and he's just like, oh man, that's cool. But man, our wait time right now is like 3-4 years. And I'm like,
No
oh,
way.
and that was at that time. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, he's like, yeah, he's all, and I'm like, okay. I said, I don't know if I want to do that. I said, I can't wait that long. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I've already been, by that time, you've already like shown your figure. And by 4 years, people are going to be like, that's, and then you show it and you're like, whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
It happens.
Exactly.
Anyway, so I ended up finding out the second best bet was Gums Production, Benny at Gums Production. It's a little independent company in Hong Kong, and they said, hey, go to him, try him out. So I hit him up and he said, I'm ready, let's go. I said, oh shoot, gave me all the input. But at the same time, this was all done by word of mouth, Instagramming, texting, emailing. That's it. There was no paperwork. There was no like agreements or nothing like that. It was just like kind of, you got to kind of almost like, all right. Let's go for it. Let's try this out. So it ended up being cool and working out for me. The only downfall was his order quantity. He had a very, very big order quantity. So in order for me to actually get the few different colors that I wanted and try to save some money and him lower the quantity, I pretty much went it all in at once.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much unheard of when you buy vinyls. Don't do that, guys. You don't have to do that now. That's the beautiful thing. There's companies that will make 5, 10, 15. But unfortunately, at that time, I had to do what I had to do, which, it's fine. Because now I looked in the box. I've got about 15 mecha creatures left, and they're done. They're done.
No kidding.
Done. I think they're a couple clears. They're clears and like maybe 1 or 2 glows I have left that I'm saving for myself to paint up, and then maybe a black that I forgot I had. I'm like, oh cool, there's a black in here. Yeah. So, but that's it. But to let you guys know, I have reached out to Paul at Mile High Sofubi, and I handed him over the metal molds to my Mecha Creech. So he is now trying to work it out because it's a little different system in Hong Kong than it is for his system. So he's trying to work it out right now where he can pull some mecha creatures. And if that happens, then you're going to be seeing marbles. You're going to be seeing all these funky colors because I can just pull 1 or 2. You know what I mean? I don't have to pay. You don't want to pull 50 marbles.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. It's gosh, dude, what was that original quantity that the Mecha Creech came in? Do you remember how many of those you ordered? Yeah. Was it like hundreds?
400.
Oh, smoke. And you got 15.
I'll find a picture.
Wow.
And I'll tag you, and it's with me with the boxes in my warehouse when they got dropped off. And when they got dropped off, I was like, what did I just do? I could have just bought a car. I hope my wife doesn't find out about this.
Yeah.
All these things are right. They're just gonna be all over my house and never gonna sell. Like, oh man, all those things went through my head, man. I was so nervous, dude. But man, I'm so stoked with how it's like turned out and how people like to this day. I'm still having people like, whoa, what's this? Oh my goodness, I need one of these. Because there's people that don't never go to a convention. They're still brand new to conventions,
Sure.
So it's fun, man. It's fun.
Speaking of the Mecha Creech, let's talk about, and God, dude, I should have been doing this probably 20 minutes ago. The Mecha Creech, the Mad Ball giveaway, dude. Tell me about that, and let's give one of those bad boys away.
Oh, I'm down. I am down. So I mean, I don't know. You don't know what you're getting. That's the thing. I'm just going to show you these are the marbles that I got, and I got a few more. Who knows what you're going to get? I have no idea. Like, you don't have. I don't have. Who knows? But you're gonna get something.
I was gonna say it is
a Mad Ball, but I just don't know what, because I've been looking through and I don't know. I might surprise him with something. We'll see.
There you go. We are going to give away one of those right now. And if you can tell by the comments, boy, did I screw that up this week. I'll tell you what, man, I had actually skipped one, a number. And then, so I redid that number, and then I forgot that I redid that number. So I redid that number. So
You got it right though, right? We're in. Or somebody have does somebody have like a double chance of winning?
I was gonna say somebody's gonna win something. That's what I can tell everybody for sure. So
all right, well, maybe. I mean, I'm down. Let's see how this thing works. I'm down.
Also adrift slightly. I'm gonna give you number 28, and then Dirty Yeti. I'm gonna give you 29.
What's up, party people out there? What is up?
All right, let's go. So here we go. Let me share the screen real quick, and then we'll do a. This is going to be for a Mecha Creech Mad Ball.
Yes, and make sure that please, if the winner would please follow my man and myself on Instagram and hit me up on my messages. That way, I got an address and I know where to send it to.
Absolutely. And, that's something that I put on the first couple giveaways and then I stopped doing it. But yeah, please follow Toys Alive. Definitely be following the artist, whoever is doing the giveaway this week at S.W.A.R.M.M. Give both of us a follow. Also, if you could really, if you're not following Toys Alive on YouTube, please do that as well. That always helps. The more subscribers, I think the more, kind of the more steam it builds. So here we go. 1 through 29 for a Mecha Creek Mad Ball. Good luck, everyone.
Let's go. Let's go. Big money, big money, big money, big money. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Come on, come on. I know. Where's the cheers, man? Jeez.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there it is. You got it.
That is Hobo Toys, my man. Nice.
Hey, what do you know?
Hobo Toys, man. Hobo Toys.
Down to a better person.
Yeah, actually, Hobo Toys was on the show. Was it last week?
I watched it. I was just watching it. It was dope.
Yeah, it was last week, right? I think he was on because he had painted a piece for the Space Squad show from ETC, which was phenomenal, by the way.
Beautiful. That's why. See, that's the thing. That's why I wanted to wait, because I want to talk to my man, because he might want a blank to paint up, and he might not want a marble. He might want a blank to paint up and do his thing. And I would love to see him do his thing. I might send him a couple to do his thing. We'll see. We'll see. Can't.
Like we said, somebody's winning a box of stuff. That's what we know.
There we go. There we go. We'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens. I love it though. I love to see another artist do their thing to my stuff, man. I love it. It's awesome.
And you know what, dude? To be honest with you, when I saw this, besides just the holy shit, what is that? I gotta have it. A collab between you and Ophelia. I love that. I love kind of the collabs, like you said, just where it's a piece of vinyl or resin, whatever it is, and it's a blank, and then you send it to somebody else and they paint it. Whether they know it's being done or not. Usually I try to ask with the artist, hey, just want to let you know I'm going to send this out to be painted by somebody else, if you're cool with that. And then you have kind of an unknown collab, or possibly like a one-off collab that nobody else has. Dude, what a great way to get multiple artists involved on a piece, with kind of production and then paint on top of that.
I highly, highly recommend any artist out there that's dipping into whether or not you're resin or vinyl. I mean, man, it's always fun just to have another artist give their flip of their paint job on your figure. Because if anything, man, you're just shaking each other's hand at the end of the day.
Sure.
And you know what? That all of a sudden that guy's followers is going, whoa, man, look at that sick ass figure that you painted up. I got to go follow that guy. And then the trickle effect happens. And that's honestly kind of what we need as independent artists today, man. And your channel is definitely helping us out, spread the word, because we are still a very small community. I'm still learning every day, man. I'm trying to better myself every day in this community and trying to figure it all out. Like I said, it's tough. Some things go really well your way, and then some things you're so hyped about, and maybe everybody else doesn't see that vision that you had. But at the end of the day, it's okay. You know what I mean? Because you gotta keep it. You gotta stay faithful to yourself and do what you love. You know what I mean? Because it's going to come out at the end, you know? And sometimes a figure could take a while to actually hit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
you know, or it just goes in that the right person hand, you know, and all of a sudden, you
Yeah.
know,
And going back to kind of leaning on each other as far as kind of getting the word out, man. I remember a post that you did a long time ago. And it was when I first started following you and I was new to Instagram. I didn't know how ats worked. I didn't know how hashtags worked. But you
yeah,
did a post one time, man, and I'll never forget it because at the time, now I don't know if this is still relevant or not, because who knows what IG does and what gets shown and what doesn't, what hashtags work, what don't.
right,
But at least I know I can say for sure a while ago when I saw that post, I know that putting hashtags on your post, to me, I don't think it was hurting anything. I could be wrong about that, but I remember you had done a post and you were saying you were doing a very, very good breakdown of why you need to use hashtags. But more than that, I think it was why you need to share other people's work
right,
and how that gets out there. Just like you said, kind of word of mouth. I wouldn't have known if I wouldn't have saw on this guy's page that he was using a piece by this guy. And
right,
then there's, like you said, there's that kind of trickle effect of how it all works. Uh,
right.
just give me a quick, how important is that to you? Um, that what's the best way to say this? That the community is tight because that I know that there is some. I don't want to say competition,
Oh yeah,
right?
I get
But
you. Yeah.
yeah, it's you know,
Believe
and
me, I get it.
while that's still there, there's still this need to push everything, right? Like I need the wrestling show from last night to do very well, right?
Right,
I
right,
need the GI show to do very well. And I'm not just saying me, I think we as a whole need these things to do well. We need Bootleg Overdose to do well. We need Mantique's Shop to do well. We need
right.
everything to do well. I guess the summary of that question is, man, just give me your take on that kind of whole setup as far as promoting your friends as artists and just kind of pushing the scene along, if you will.
Right. I mean, 100%. I mean, because that's the thing, dude, is we don't want the corporate world to take over. You know what I mean? And that's what we're here for. Because I am so much for like supporting the mom and pop shops, obviously, because I have a mom and pop shop, and I'm not just saying that for that reason, but we're losing those more and more because they're pushing us out. And believe me, I know being in the town of Niles, and what they do, and you know how they hold the carrot, you know, above
Sure.
certain, people's, and you know a lot of people jump for it, and I get it in this time area because it's a scary time because you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, especially with what's going on in the world. I,
Sure.
I'm one that doesn't really. I don't watch the news, dude. I
Yeah.
don't ever watch the news. I don't try. I don't. I'm not. I don't keep up with politics. I
Right.
don't. I don't really. Yeah, I don't do any of that. I pretty much just pay attention to art, my work at my shop, my friends. Trying to keep up with my really close friends. The unfortunate thing is with me, and I got to get back on that, is like with Instagram being kind of washed out, getting it kind of everything's lost now, which really is unfortunate.
Yeah.
That I find myself not wanting to be on there. So I just find myself posting my post, look a few times and say, a few likes here and there. But what happens there is I lose contract with you. Like I'll be like, oh shit, where did my boy go? Where's my
Sure.
boy?
Exactly.
I have to
Right.
go hunt you down, like a bunch of your stuff real quick that I didn't see because they figured I don't like you anymore and push you
Right.
down. I don't know
Right.
why. So
Right.
that bums me out because I hope nobody takes it personally. I try not
Sure.
to take it personally because look, I mean, at the end of the day, I got like 8,000 followers, and dude, I'll get like 30 likes on a new post for a new thing I just painted.
Right.
But those 30 people, thank you, and those are the raw 30 people that I need, and I'm all good, man, with the 30 people, 10 people, whatever, it's all good.
It is, man. And I think you even said something about sharing posts. And for me, just from what I've seen and running the Toys Alive page, I think I get a lot more traffic on that page when you share other people's posts.
Yeah,
And sometimes that can get a little tricky for people, but you hit that paper airplane, and then to your story, you
yeah,
don't have to put music, you don't have to put anything. The point is that you're sharing it. And what I
yeah,
think happens behind the scene is whoever is following that artist, maybe it shows up in their stories as
right,
well. because I have people that look at stories when I do posts about certain artists that I've never seen before. So how they're seeing it, I don't know. The other thing that's crazy is, you say you have how many followers you have, but look at how many people you're following too, man. I follow a lot
Right.
of people. Then you start scrolling and you're
Exactly.
thinking, how many, when you start to see multiple posts from people and you're following thousands of people, you're thinking, how many of these posts? I'm seeing a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and it could be 100, but 100 out of the 3,000 that you're following, that is a fraction, like you said, man. And then it gets buried. And the next thing you know, this person's gone. They've been posting the whole time. You're just not seeing their stuff. It's
Right.
frustrating, man. What's your answer to that, dude? Have you moved to any other platforms? I know you have a lot of links on your page, which I encourage people to check out.
So you know what's it's kind of an interesting thing. I mean, I found that a lot of times it's like almost people dedicate themselves to one platform almost, and that's where they put all their all in. I mean, for example, I use Instagram obviously because in the beginning that I mean, and it still is good, but at the beginning it was way better for us artists. You know what I mean? To get spread our word and spread our art and stuff, and it was a nice little community that we had. But then it started getting washed out with the ads and whatever. But then they connected it to Facebook where, hey, now you can share on Facebook. But at the same time, I'm not interactive on Facebook really that much, other than here's my stuff. And I kind of treat it as my personal site because it is still who I am. Because that's if you notice, I don't really have a site that's just for me. Swarms is me, Michael McCreary. I represent this company and me. So it's just kind of all me, So that's what I've always kind of been. Instead of keeping it separate, which I know a lot of people say, oh man, you should keep your personal life separate. And I'm like, for the most part, I do. But, I don't mind posting a picture of, my dog chilling, every once in a while. I'm not tripping on that because this is my life. This is my page. I can do whatever I want with it at the end of the day. If you don't like it, then, hey, you could always unlike. But hey, back to that whole thing about the sharing, man. It really is so simple to do, and I don't know what it is that blocks some people from doing it, even though that person, they love that person. That person's the best person, awesome. They love their art. They buy their art. They support that art. I don't know if it's just, I don't know. But me personally, man, I've been trying to do it more and more as much as I can. Not like today, I kind of flooded it with the WTF. I posted everywhere because there's so much good stuff. And what was there, like 35 different artists? So I was like, dude, I love all
it was over 80.
Oh, excuse me. Oh my God, bro.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild?
Nuts. And I love to see that, dude. I love to see everybody's creativity on that level. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. So I mean, we kind of got to go back to what we were saying about designing. I mean, for all you guys out there, that are thinking about designing a toy, or don't hesitate, to either reach out to somebody that that's done it before. I mean, you can always reach out to me, and I can give you as much helpful advice as I possibly can. But at the end of the day, I think I forget who talked about it. It's probably around $3,000, $2,000 to $3,000 to get something really going in vinyl. You know what I mean? Now, take in mind, if you were the original sculptor, if you're the original artist, now you probably just saved yourself a grand, because that's usually a sculptor usually charged, depending on the detail work, because that's what Mecha Creature was about, $1,000. You know what I mean? Not to mention the resin, the pulls and stuff, for send out to Hong Kong. But so it is definitely feasible more than ever right now. And here's the thing, guys. Like, imagine, I mean, your resin figures can go out there and be out there. I don't know how long resin actually does last when it comes down to like breaking down.
Sure.
But imagine your vinyl out there and it's there forever, dude. It's going to be out there forever. So I always think about that, dude. When I pass away, dude, I'm living on, man. Like, all my vinyls everywhere, I'm there. I'm still living on, man. Like, so I don't know, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
It is, man. And that's a beautiful point, man. I've never thought about that. I think yeah, I guess the longevity of resin kind of remains to be seen, right? I guess we'll find out.
Right.
I have some that look pristine as the day I bought them. I have other ones that have a lean to them or that maybe
Right.
yellow a
Right.
little bit.
Right.
Not to say it's a bad piece, but I think that probably the conditions and time just does certain things. On the
Right.
flip side of that, with the vinyl toys, I mean, you see vinyl toys from the 50s and 60s, and they look like they did in the 50s and 60s. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they're still there. And it's you're right, dude. I think vinyl. I could be speaking way out of turn because I really don't know. I feel like vinyl's maybe more of a permanent thing, like you said, just from what I've seen. I mean, you're talking pieces that are out there, 60, 70 years old.
Yeah. Right. I
Right.
mean, that's kind of a reason why I think not too many people are kind of scared to get into the vinyl because maybe that cost thing is like but here's the thing, after you pay for the mold, which is just the main cost, like the mold is going to be the main cost, that because it's big metal mold,
Right.
and after that's done, guys, you can get your pulls done depending on what size you have, like a little mini figure. You can get those vinyl pulls for probably $3 to $5. Now talking about a bigger figure, now you're talking probably 10 to 20 bucks for a pull. So now start thinking like, oh shit, you can, now you start, it's a lot easier and it's a lot less stress on you than put it in the pot, hoping, that it cools. And then how long is that mold going to last?
Sure.
Though that costs a lot of money, man. I remember buying that mold material and that stuff is not cheap. You
Right.
add that up. Do your mold costs for the year, guys, and add that up. And I guarantee you probably say, oh, shoot, I can do this in vinyl for sure. But hey, man, I like I said, too, resin's beautiful, man. There's so many different things you can do with resin, too. Right in your backyard, boom. It's hands-on. You're tweaking it, boom. I can't do that with the vinyl. I mean, I guess I could add to it, but I don't really do that. I got the vinyl, it's done,
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah.
paint them up. I like to paint. So
Exactly, man. I would say probably 90% of my collection is resin, and I can't think of a piece right now that I own where I'm just like, oh man, that thing didn't last.
right.
And it so far so good. Somebody, Dre, said that he resin can last if it's not in the ocean. Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to as far as the environments, and
So I mean,
where it's at.
so that's a beautiful thing. I mean, you got to think about it. Anytime that somebody puts that resin figure on their shelf, I mean, and then that's going to live on and on and on. Man, all of a sudden somebody's going to get that. Dude, I don't know if you guys heard, this happened way back. One of my one-offs ended up at Goodwill.
What?
Check that out. In Hollywood. I tracked it down to the lady that bought it. So I don't know what happened to her, but all of a sudden she's off of Instagram. I didn't go CSI on it and see if she passed away, but I figured she passed away. There was an estate sale. Some stuff ended up being donated. Either there was an estate sale or the parents and family didn't care and they gave it all to Goodwill. It ended up on a shelf at Goodwill in Hollywood. I was like, the lady that bought it at Goodwill tracked me down and said, hey, you made this? And I'm like, yeah. So I got this at Goodwill for like $5.98.
Oh,
I was like, what?
oh,
You want to buy it back? And I'm like, buy it back? And she's all, I'm all, nah, I'm okay. She's all, well, what do you think it's worth? I'm all, you know what? You could just go sell it, see what happens. I'm all, just put it on your shelf, enjoy it. But that was like, you just don't know. You never know, man. You never know where your stuff's going to end up. Goodwill.
you're
Boom.
like, I'll give you 7 for it. Let you
I know, right? Free shipping.
Dude, isn't that funny? I don't usually mess around with eBay a lot unless I'm looking for something specific.
Right.
But I've been looking for a few things recently and found one of them. I found I don't even want to say what artist it is, dude, but I found a piece and it was like $15, dude, and it blew my mind. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And usually when you see that, typically they don't know what they have, right? It might be
Right.
figure, maybe the artist name isn't even attached to it, but I saw something and I'm like, oh shit, I know what that is, and cheap as shit. So yeah, you're right, dude. It does end up in some weird places there.
Yeah.
Did you have another giveaway, or was it?
Oh, I mean, hey, I'm down. If you want to so, I mean, are they down?
Absolutely.
We have an hour. What do we at? What time is it? I can't even tell. man.
There's about 30 in the room right now, but they've been coming in and out. It's 10 after 7 right now.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, I know, dude, and that's what I'm saying, man. And I think I told you before, we will blow through an hour like it's nothing, man. I feel like we haven't even started yet. You know what I mean?
I'm just getting comfortable, warmed up. You know what I mean? That's the thing. So once I start getting comfortable, that's when shirts come off.
Yeah.
You get the point.
Dude, tell me about Monster Palooza. I know this is coming up.
Yeah, yeah, I can't wait. I love Monster Palooza. So I mean,
where is it?
Is
it Pasadena?
Yes, the Pasadena Convention Center, and it is May 31st through June 2nd.
Nice.
So that's when that is. But yeah, I'll be out there with my boy Chris Gringo in the house, helping me out at the booth. We'll be at Creature Row, booth 100. So I'm like, that's a thing. I can get bigger booths, but man, I got Creature Row. I cannot give Creature Row up. You know what I mean?
And what is Creature Row?
Oh, each row is like a Frankenstein row. Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Gotcha.
Every monster has a different row. So it's like I'm on Creature Row, Creature from the Black Lagoon row, but they call it Creature Row. I just call it Creature. I should call it Mecha Creature Row. I'm trying to work that out, but
there you go.
So far, dude. Oh man. So we're gonna be there hanging out, dude. So what I do is I just bring my it's another place where I'm actually I think me and a few other artists are actually opening the door for Sofubi vinyl artists to show up. I've been telling all the dudes, man, come out, do the show. Yeah, you do Designer Con, but you have a monster, man. This is a monster. Go and show the world that this isn't a Jason. This isn't a Freddy Krueger. This is your trippy ass whatever it is, you know what I mean? And they're gonna trip out. And so far it's been pretty cool because people pick it up and go, what's this? I don't see anything around like this. And they're intrigued and they want to know what's going on with these interesting figures and vinyl toys. But at the same time, being having Mantiques and having the shop and being, going out there and hunting for toys, I'm always after horror and monster toys. So I save my arsenal. So I'll have one side dedicated to my designer toys, and I'll have one side dedicated to monster toys and just vintage toys and weird stuff that has obviously influenced us in the path to make these weird monsters. You know what I mean? Sure. So, and that helps, dude. That helps me definitely pay for the booth. Really nice. Feel comfortable more.
Yeah, for sure. And at Monster Palooza, just from the pictures that I've seen, it's multiple things out there, right? Like I saw a lot of like special effects, movie makeup and stuff like that going on.
Yes. So it is completely like different than Designer Con, because basically, yeah, you're going to be walking down and all of a sudden there's somebody getting made up in clay into something. And then you go back 4 hours later and it's this big troll one-eyed monster. And you're like, what the hell? And they're walking around, with the cloak. And you're like, dude, what's going on here? You're seeing people go there and cosplay on purpose. But dude, their cosplay is like off the hook because you're just seeing zombies and monsters and unique, another sort of unique creativity. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, man, it's like sometimes I see these guys walking around, like, man, that would be cool on vinyl or Sofubi. You know what I mean? We got a cool figure, but
there's another collector on Instagram. I was just talking to Fletch from Tycho's Tacos about them earlier, but Plastic Jesus. Plastic Jesus. They're a really big fan of Monster Palooza, and I believe they're down in Southern California. But we've talked about that show before. And just kind of the different stuff that's going on. So it definitely sounds very cool, man. I would love to get down there. It sounds like it's just is it a 2 or 3 day thing?
It's just a 2-day thing. I mean, for vendors, obviously we get in there Friday set up and then, oh wait, actually, no, I apologize. I think it is a 3-day because it's kind of like Designer Con, I think, where it's like a VIP, you do the Friday night. It's,
half-day type deal.
Honestly, man, that's a long day right there. But
for sure.
Yeah, because you got to set up, and then you got to like wait around for them to open the door at like 4 o'clock, and then you got to stay there till 9. But it's cool, man. I mean, it's fun, man. You see everybody rushing around trying to get that exclusive, and
yeah.
while I sit in the booth waiting for somebody just to come over and check out my figures. Hey, come on down, hang out. But no, I love it, man. I love it. It's so fun. It's so fun. They have them too.
Yeah. Do you have I don't want to say a problem, but I know that a lot of artists, when they go and they do shows like that or at Designer Con, um, dude, there is just sometimes there's an overwhelming want to put a sign up at your booth and say, I'll be back in 20 minutes. And then you go and you're like, God, I want to buy something or I need to go see this. I mean, you have multiple people at your booth, so you probably can do that.
There
Yeah.
we go. So you just, hey, you must have been by my booth and just lucked out, and I'm there. Because usually people go, dude, you weren't even at your booth. Dude, you weren't even at your booth. Because that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I love Gringo for this, man. And he helps me out so much. And he's such a personal guy. And he knows all about my stuff, my mechanisms. He knows everything. He has a background. So when I walk away, it's not like just some guy is just standing there like, oh yeah, that's my boy's stuff. He's like, oh man, boom, boom, boom. And he's like, dude, this, you know, so he's on it. Because here's the thing, I love to network. I love to see what everybody's up to. I love to geek out with my friends out there and see their new products and at least give them a nod or a shout out and say hi. You know, the thing is too, I get so overwhelmed there that sometimes I'm walking by somebody, I'm like, I think I remember you. You know how you kind of recognize somebody, but you don't. You catch eyes, but then you just don't say hi. Man, once again, if that happens, please, no disrespect, man. I'm just on overload at these designer cons, and I'm, you know, I'm just but it's a fun thing, man. So I'm just walking around saying hi to everybody. But unfortunately, dude, last designer con, I'm not gonna be ever. I'm not going to the another one anymore until if they come back, I'll do it. But I can't do Vegas, unfortunately. So
yeah, it's a weird thing, man, and it's, you know, especially when you start talking about, you know, breaking even or, you know, you talked about networking. So here's something I wanted to ask you, since you brought that up. When I think of conventions like that, at least if I was setting up a table, I think that you could think of it two ways, and it's really going to kind of set the tone for you for how you're going to respond to that show, right? Like if you go in there saying, if I don't make my money back for the table that I'm putting out there, if I don't at least break even, it's a fail for me. I don't want to lose money on this. This is going to be a money-making deal for me. Unfortunately, when you start adding in all your travel expenses, food expenses, you know, hotel room, whatever it is, now if you really want to make some money, you have to factor in all those and say, well, if I'm plus after all that, then it's good. The other school of thought for me would be, when you're doing a convention like that and networking, like you say, there has to be some sort of monetary value to you for that would go under, if you were a larger business and you had a advertising budget, it would fit right in there, right? Because you're out there, you're networking. And so I think if you look at it like that and say, well, I got to network with a lot of people. I was at Designer Con, which is the largest show of this kind, and I was there, I was presenting. Do you ever think about it that way and say, you know what, man, maybe I didn't make my money back, but I networked with a lot of people. I saw a lot of people. I talked to a lot of people. And that right there is worth it to me.
Yeah, there is yes and no. And I think this probably hits every, you know, each person individually differently. Because everybody kind of is financially, obviously has, you know, what knows what's in their pocketbook, you know what I mean? And what they can do, you know, and there's some people, you know, that are doing this and putting their all into it, man. And oh man, I feel for these people. And yeah, it maybe the convention didn't do it and they did break even or barely made it, you know. So yeah, that puts a thought where, oh, do I want to do this the next convention and see what happens?
Sure.
So for me personally, I can only speak for me personally. You know, for me, I like to do them, and I mean, I'm bummed that I can't do Designer Con. Believe me, it's just the scenario and just the, you know, I don't have to get into all that, but I am bummed that I won't be able to see all the friends that I network with and saw and got to hang out with and you know, almost become how I became this. But at the same time, yeah, I have to follow my heart and follow what's, you know, what I feel that, you know, I can't do that. But
exactly,
you know, yeah, I mean, it really comes down to, I think individually, just the person, man, really, because networking is great because you got to think of it at the end of that day, if you network properly, And if you're a pretty positive person, and if you do your, play your cards right, it's positivity goes a long way, guys. That's the thing too. Put on a smile. Even if you just put on a smile and try not to be fake, be true, be real. You know what I mean? That's the best thing that you can do. From there, people are gonna feel that energy, and then from that point on, maybe not that show, but later on down that, they're gonna look you up on your website, follow you on Instagram. They're gonna buy something from you. Then you're gonna grow, because that's basically how it happened for me. Just trying to meet people. Oh yeah, you like this? Oh yeah, that is cool. Like, oh, I'll follow you. From there it grows, and now I have people like you, man. I have other people, so many people in the chat that have followed me, purchased one of my items, and are still following me and interested in what I'm into. And even if you don't purchase what I am making and don't really dig it, just respecting it and going, hey, cool. I'm stoked with that. Honestly, like that's kind of what all I ask is. I appreciate people being on board, man. It's because there's so many awesome artists out there that you could be following, and for them just to be following me, like, my little journey, I'm honored, man. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
It's cool, man. And it's and like you said, and just to even have that reputation of, I saw that guy, he's a positive guy or artist or whatever. And that energy that they bring, man. I know for me personally, when I think of S.W.A.R.M.M Co, I'm thinking, oh, dude, McCreary, man, that dude's cool as shit. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
And it's the energy that you bring, man. It's just not your pieces, which are amazing, and your paint, which is amazing. But man, it's a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe, and I think you're nailing it.
I try. I try. It can be tough. I mean, sometimes I'm have a big old smile on the outside, but inside I'm like, oh man, this hurts.
Yeah.
But, that's kind of part of the game in a way, man. You can't show sometimes the pain at these conventions because people are going to feed off that pain. So you got to go, let's go. I'm having fun. I'm doing positive. I'm doing really good. Yeah, I've been selling nothing, but yeah, I'm doing great. We're keeping rocking. You just got to stay positive, man. Just got to stay positive.
When Crumbs was on the show, Crumbs and I really relate to a specific piece in general from One Trick Pony. Yeah. And the piece is a clown, and he's carrying a briefcase, and him and I are a lot alike, kind of outside of toys, with certain areas. And I think what you just said right there is really key, man, and I've been a victim of this myself, and people will probably laugh, but I've had my temper get the best of me on this show, and in life in general. And it's always a little bit shameful to look back on and go, what was I doing, man? That was dumb. But,
yeah. But we learn, right? That's what it's all about. I mean, we better ourselves.
Yeah. On that note, let's do another giveaway for you, man. This will be the last one.
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Here we go. This is going to be another Mecha Creech Mad Ball. What kind? You will know as soon as it lands at your house. Yeah. Now, anybody who wins tonight, make sure that you hit up S.W.A.R.M.M or myself and leave your address. That would be great. So 29. Here we go again with the spin. Mecha
Let's go. Spin the wheel. Spinning that wheel. Man, I love this wheel. Those are my colors too. I don't know how you knew. Like
21 this time. And that is, don't tell me, son of a bitch, Pocket Salsa. Unbelievable. I think he called that win before he left. So there you go, Pocket Salsa. And actually, his response was the pieces that he liked on your page were any of the clear Mecha Creeches and any of the one-off paint apps he's done. Really need to grab a Mecha Creech soon.
Nice. Right on.
Your comment earlier about Mecha Creech, it sounds like there's less than 20 of those things left in existence. There may be more in the future, but if you're interested in Mecha Creech, you better go get one. I will be getting one. I know that much.
I love it. I love it. I don't know why all of a sudden doing the little shoot thing, but hey, let's go.
Hobo Toys, his comment was he loves all the Kaiju Cruisers. They are so damn good, was his response. Correct you are, sir. Dude, anything else you want to get out there before I boot you out of here?
Yeah, come on, you're not booting me out yet. So yeah, there is. I mean, obviously, with I got it. Oh man, once again, hold on a second here. Let me check
Yeah,
this out.
right.
I actually, so some of you have actually seen what the newest project I got going on. I have to share this with you guys.
Absolutely. Please do, man. I'm going to put you on full screen.
This is, yeah. So let's get on the full screen. And what I have right now, this is basically the resin that I sent out just last week. So this is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the Mecha Creech Mobile, aka Mecha Mobile. And basically, there we go. Hopefully, I don't drop this on my computer. So, I mean, obviously, if you guys are familiar with my Mecha Creech, that's what it's designed after. I've got half of it. Let me see if we can get in there. Sorry. Yeah. So we've got like half of it, kind of like Creature from the Black Lagoon style. The wheels are skateboard wheels. We got the back license plate with the freaking, me on there, of course. And then this is the mecha side with some nice tiling work. I got a little cockpit and let me see. Got a little cockpit in there. That's kind of like, I don't know. You guys remember Knight Rider? That's a little steering wheel from Knight Rider. And then the windshield is like a record player with a little tone arm, and the Tombstone back seat is obviously the Kaiju Cruiser. So on top of that, what we got is, and I've revealed these already, but I might as well show them to you guys, is I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, I got six little mini figures that go with the car. I mean, I'm probably going to sell them separately. So here's the first. Obviously, had to do a little Mecha Creech.
Oh shit!
So
Now, is it going to be vinyl as well?
Yep. These are all going to be vinyl. These are all going to be turned into vinyl, and they fit right there in the little car. I kind of fit them loose. That way they weren't. Oh, there you go. Sure. That way it wasn't so. I don't want to be tight, so I have to ruin the paint. So there's one little dude. Here's another guy. This is my little melty guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and these are all I did original concept drawings, and then I had my boy Casey ended up doing these. Sculpting them up for me. Now this guy, man, I've had this original idea for so long, and I don't know how many of you guys are Primus fans out there, but I was a big Primus fan, and back in the day, and still am. But their mascot was Skeeter, the little fly guy or whatever. And so I always drew this guy, my version of this guy back in the day. So I wanted to do a little vinyl guy of that. Obviously, then I had to do a skeleton, represent a skeleton. So I just wanted to get rid of the bottom jaw and just kind of, you can see some of his flesh is kind of coming out, and he's skinned, little Skinner guy. Hey, Skinner, what's up, dude, if he's there? Also, we got my old dude. All right. I like this guy, his ears, and little Cyclops guy. Obviously, going back to the Sinbad days. And last but not least, probably save the worst for last, I guess. And that's me, the little mini driver.
Oh, dude, come on. That's the best one.
I appreciate that, dude. I mean, I had to, right? It's like, man, let's do it. So,
and you're sculpting all these?
No, this is my buddy. What I did is I did the drawings on these, and then I sent it to my buddy, Casey, and Casey ended up sculpting these up for me.
Those are awesome,
yep. And then I'll fit
those are so freaking cool.
Car. So, man, that's pretty much the next thing that's coming out. And the crazy thing is, man, my production company, I said I got Monster Palooza coming up, and he's all, oh man, there might be a way. And I'm like, dude, if you can get these by Monster Palooza, I will like,
oh wow.
Whoa. But I don't want to rush perfection, especially at the factory, but we'll see what happens. You never know. If they show up, So
yeah. And the a vinyl vehicle, man, and me not knowing shit about vinyl, that's different, and that's super, super cool, man. I saw somebody else advertise a piece, and I'm sure other people saw it out there, But somebody had done a couple vinyl figures of wrestlers, and then made like a vinyl wrestling ring.
I saw that.
That
I
was
saw
sick,
that.
man.
I wanted that. I forgot who that was. I saw that today, and I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I think I saved that. And I was gonna try to get it. It's dropping tomorrow, right? Or something.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
I think I set my alarm for that.
yeah. That's funny.
Slingshot. Was it Slingshot toy?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I'd have to look. I wrote it down. I
And
said,
somebody, if you're in the comments and you're, feel free to correct me. It's Slingshot Toys or something of that nature. Actually, I got one of his figures over here somewhere. They did that Rat Fink kind of figure.
yeah,
The other one. But yeah, dope ass figure. So yeah,
that's hard, man. That is sick, dude. I love how it's interchangeable parts too.
you know, and that if obviously kind of, I'm not really a car guy, but I had this concept of this is cool, and also flashing back to the old play school preschool days of those play school figures that go in your car and you're driving them around, the Fisher Price, you know what I mean? That's kind of, you know, what I grew up with. So I was like, oh, you know what, this would be a fun element, because then I could have all these mini figures that go with it, and it would be endless now, because now I can just make all these. And if you don't have a car, you don't have to get a car. You could just get a minifigure if you want. So, you know, I'd be stoked on that. But
yeah, and dude, that's a great point too, of having that base, then being able to add to it later on with different figures and whatnot. That's a great idea, man.
yeah, it's a fun little concept. And besides that, I also have I don't know if you guys heard about that. I also have my boy working on a Mecha Creech lighter sleeve right now. So I'm actually going to be making a Mecha Creech lighter sleeve. Yeah, so something kind of, you know, inexpensive that I could produce in a vinyl, and it won't be too expensive at the table. You know what I mean? So hopefully with that, you know, I'll be able to pop them out pretty quick, and then everybody can have one, you know?
Yeah.
Even if you just are tight on the pocketbook, now you can have something in your collection, Mecha Creech or whatever. Because I love Mecha Creech and that concept, and everybody's kind of enjoying it. So I'm like, you know, I'm rolling with it because it's my little baby. So, and
I was gonna say, man, would you say that's kind of like your signature piece is Mecha
Creech? It is 100%, because when I started with the Mecha Creech, I honestly was like, I had the turntable tarantula, man. I had that concept 2014. I've had all these other concepts, but it's just like I was like, I'm gonna do my Mecha Creech, concentrating on the Mecha Creech, and you know what? That might be it. I might be done. Thank you, appreciate that.
Right on. Thanks.
So I was like, hey, you know, this figure might not do good. I might go broke, you know. So I was really just like, hey, I'm gonna make the Mecha Creech, concentrate on that. And then once, it's kind of funny because as soon as I got the production of vinyl, even before you're waiting, I was like, oh man, no, I want to do that turntable tarantula now. I was like, oh shit, like I can do that because you did it. Now that you did it and you know the process, you're like, okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable with this. I'm talking to the guy at the factory. I'm, you know, doing this and this. But at that time, I reached out to Paul, my Hayasa Fubi, and he helped me out with that one. So that was awesome. He helped me out with that one. And John at Barely Human Arts, he helped me out.
Yeah, sure.
So he helped me out with the turntable tarantula.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
He also helped me out with the Madball too.
Oh, sick. Yeah, dude. I was just talking to Resin Blood, ETC, and Barely Human. Got on a live last Saturday, and I believe they're going to be doing another one this Saturday. But dude, you talk about a three-headed monster right there. Holy crap, dude. Talking about vinyl and production and paint and whatnot.
Right.
That's very cool.
I love it, man. I love it.
Dude, it's honestly an absolute travesty. I have not been down to your store yet.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's all good. I understand. I mean, we're all so busy, dude. I never take offense to it. So yeah, get your ass down
here. Right. You know what? Before I really figured out where the store was, we were doing a high school out there, and I used to drive by you all the time, man. We were doing one in Santa Clara.
Oh, really?
Yeah, out by the 49ers stadium, and that was like a 3-day-a-week thing for me, man. So I was driving through Fremont all the time. And here I am. I'm not down there anymore. I do have a project coming up in Santa Clara pretty soon, though. So, but before that, dude, I will definitely get down there and check that out.
Yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few people that have come down. Fletch has come down, hung out. You know, Skinner's come down, hung out. Everybody. It's the thing is with the area. It's a you're not just going to my shop. It's an antique row. So it's like there's no Starbucks, no McDonald's, none of that bullshit. It's
Yeah.
all just like mom and pop owned shops, and there's a steam train that's right there. The mountains are right. You've been by. It's gorgeous. So like,
And,
yeah.
yeah, I've seen some from some of your videos, man. It looks like they occasionally have those fairs where it looks like everybody kind of brings stuff out onto the sidewalk or whatnot. And
Yeah, once a year. Yep.
yeah, looks like a fun time, man, for sure. I'll
Oh,
definitely
it's
get
a
out
blast. It's a blast. But I mean, I think we're about to almost go. And if I think, man, I have like a little shout out thing, man, where I wrote it down where because I didn't want to.
Absolutely, dude.
I just have a few people. I mean, there's so many. I want to shout at everybody there. And if your name's not heard here, don't take offense to it because I'm shouting you out right now. There you go. So
Bro,
I mean,
patiently with my mouth shut until you are done. You make this list as long as you want, my man.
I'm gonna, and excuse me if I read down here because I'm kind of brain fried right now. Anyway, I mean, obviously, first and foremost, man, I want to thank my man here, B to the J. I mean, for putting this show on. It's awesome, dude, that you're helping us, artists and underground artists, spread the word and show it out there to everybody, man. It's sick. Interview was great, dude. I felt comfortable with it. This is sick, dude. I appreciate you and everybody out there for tuning in and dealing with my ramblings. And I mean, like I said, I could go on for so much longer.
For sure.
But hey, maybe there'll be a part 2 someday.
Absolutely, there will.
Let me see. And I mean, obviously, I got to give a shout out to anybody out there that's ever picked up one of my figures, no matter what it is. Even if you picked up a sticker, even if you picked up whatever. I mean, even if you just support me and just, man, comment, like, share. I really, really appreciate it. You don't know how much it means for a small independent artist that's myself. Yeah, I mean, don't think I'm not struggling too, because believe me, I am. I'm always struggling to try to get as many people in my art to see the right people. You know what I mean? So even if it's not for you, maybe if you post it, your buddy might like that, or And I'm gonna do. I like I said, I do this. I got to do the same thing. I could do the same thing. So here I'm gonna go down this line here. I got a few shout out. Obviously, I'm gonna shout out my boy Martin Thomas for always helping me with my original sculpt, Mecha Creech, Kaiju Cruiser, doing the lighter for me, and just being a good friend, man, and just the advice that he's given me through the years. Awesome, dude. He's awesome. Paul and Barb at Mile High Safubi. Love you guys, man. Since day one, positivity, always a good vibe. Turntable Tarantula, you guys helped me produce that. Beautiful, beautiful. I love that, man. I love it. Michael at Creature Maker Toys. Like, he has helped me out extremely. He helped me out with the Madball, Turntable Tarantula 2, and other projects. He's helped me out with quite a bit, man. So love that guy too. John, Barely Human, obviously, man. He's helped me out a lot with art. He's done some of my art for the Turntable Tarantula and other figures. So it's awesome. I got Nick Caesar and Rick Lucy. Those two helped me out with some of my original concept drawings for my Mecha Creech. When I had my rough draft, I handed it over to them, and they kind of like spiced it up a little bit, which I love it. Drew, unaffiliated. Thanks for leading me and planting that in my head, man. That was awesome. I appreciate that. That led me to making my Mecha Creech and all my figures that are in front of me right now. Johnny Dollar Size, dude, man, I've been following that guy since day one. Shy little beginning guy, watching him do his stuff in the back, just coming up, sneaking up, looking at his stuff and running away. Didn't even talk to him, man. But now we're good buds, man. We're texting each other, getting advice from each other. I love it. His new figure is so sick. You guys go support him and buy it up. I got the clear one coming, so man, can't wait for that. Oh, it's gonna be sick. Fletch, obviously. Was it Taiko Taco? I could never. Is that right? Sir. Okay, love that guy too, man. Positive every time I see him. Dave, and I always mess up Akash Records. I can never say that. I've always messed that up, and I always feel bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always mess that up. I apologize, Dave. You know I love you, man. That's another day oneer, man. I remember, first decon, we both were bumping heads, and I was like, "What's up, dude?" And geeking out, man, geeking out. Yeah. The last two, Heather Happy O, you may not even know them, but sometimes, I don't know if you guys have ever seen those felt figures that are made, those handmade felt figures. She's done a Mecha Creech for me. She's done a Kaiju Cruiser. She's done all these, and they're all done by felt work. Dude, they're amazing. I'll repost them soon. That way you guys can see them again. And another one is Maribel from Wicked Marbles. She's the one that recently did my big Mecha Creech head not blanket. I'm sorry, rug, which is also hung too. And dude, she killed it on that. But hey, last but not least, and I'm gonna let you. I know you're just Mike. Come on, dude.
No, all good. I got no schedule.
I love it. I love it. Last but not least, I gotta thank my man, Gringo Chris Sellers, man. He's been my backup, my side, my partner, my good friend, my DJ partner, confidant, man. Everything, man. He's my main dude. So I give it up to him for helping me out at all these conventions, dude. He's awesome. And obviously, all the family, my wife, for putting up with all my shenanigans and all these toys all around. I mean, I appreciate that dearly. And for the family out there and just the friends and everybody. So, and I appreciate this interview, man, and letting me just spread the word of, vinyl toys, resin toys, just our love for the urban designer toys, no matter what it be. Just we just gotta support each other, man. And I'm down. I'm down for the cause. Let's go.
Well said, man. Well said. And I really truly think that we could probably do an episode on resin, one on vinyl, one on DJing, one on painting.
I have so much I would love to talk about that. Hold on a second here. That's all good, man. I know everybody at home is like, dude, I gotta eat dinner. I gotta go to work tomorrow. Like, what are you doing? I get it, but I love everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us. This is awesome, man, and the opportunity is great. It's great.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate your time, man. I know you're super busy, and dude, we hit a good hour and a half, man. That was very, very solid. Maybe even more than that. But dude, straight up, man, big fan of you. Big fan of your work. You're a great dude, man. I love your energy. It's fucking amazing.
Appreciate
your work is super, super sick. I have a lot of links down there for you guys at the bottom.
Appreciate it.
That you go see SW.A.R.M.M at Monster Palooza if you're in the area.
Yes.
Definitely get on his IG page, hit the link tree, and just take a look. There is a lot of good stuff on there. Get in there, take a look at the shop. There's Mecha Creech swag. There's Mecha Creech shirts. Lots of vinyl stuff on there. Lots of collab stuff, painted. Take a look at it. Do yourself a favor. Buy yourself something nice. Go take a look at that Kaiju Cruiser. Snatch one up.
I love it. I love it.
Dude, thank you again, man. I will absolutely be seeing you soon.
Yes.
I got Mecha Creatures and take a look at that shop. But seriously, dude, I know how valuable your time is, and I appreciate you, man.
High fives to everybody out there.
There you go.
High fives, guys. Love you guys. We'll see you at the shows.
Right on, buddy. Thanks again, man. Take it easy. What a good dude, man. I love it when people come on and they have just such a good energy, man. And that's one of them. That dude has an amazing energy about him. Such a good dude. Such a good dude. Full of advice. I saw Puzzled Panther say the factory talk was super interesting. I think it was too. I just know that a lot of people out there, or vinyl producers, some of us are, not myself, but some vinyl producers out there are kind of younger in the vinyl game, I guess you would say. I think he had a lot of good information in there about what to expect as far as pricing, as far as availability, and kind of what you're looking at if you wanted to produce a vinyl toy. So, and he's right. We will definitely try to do that again someday. Very cool, man. That was a great interview, man. That was awesome. I knew it was going to be good. We had been talking throughout the week about points that he wanted to cover. I think we did a pretty good job of covering every single one of them. And honestly, that doesn't even scratch the surface to what that dude is doing and will be doing. So awesome interview, S.W.A.R.M.M Co. Let's get to some opens right quick. We have not been doing very many opens on the show just because there's been so much other stuff going on. I'm looking at a table of stuff over here, so let's get to it. First one. Let's go with Ocular Rhombus first. Ocular Rhombus, man. Here's another. This was just plucked out of his store. That is a sick one. This one has some glow to it, which is actually in the cracks of the skull there. I don't have my black light here, so you can't see it. But I would say very typical ocular rhombus style packaging here in the clear box with the spray paint on the front. Sick, man. 3.75 scale. Love the look. Soft goods as usual. Nice, clean. Um, and that is, I would say, that's ocular rhombus style right there, man. That is it to a T. Um, Man, ocular rhombus been making some waves lately. He had the great Robot Resurrection show. Um, and I saw him at Assembly Required. He had over 200 individual skilled one. Yes, I will hit you up about that, my man, for sure. Um, but boom, ocular rhombus right there. If you are looking for an ocular rhombus piece, there is plenty available. The guy is an absolute machine when it comes to that. Please get into his shop and take a look at that. This one right here, sometimes he does run a sale. This one was basically buy one, get one free. You buy a figure and he will send you another figure for free. And that's exactly what that one is. That is super sick. I saw another version of this come out either today or yesterday, possibly. Looks similar, but definitely didn't. I believe the head was black. But this is another sick one, man. Another, soft goods on the cape. I love a cape on a figure, especially a 3.75. But when it's in a different style, like as far as the material that it's made out of, man, I think it really adds another dimension to the piece. He does have some jewels on there. Sick. Another good example of the ocular rhombus paint on there with that splatter style. That's a sick one, man. That one's going in the case. Ocular rhombus. Yeah, it doesn't miss. You got that right, man. This one right here. Now, this came out of the Robot Resurrection show. When I showed this piece on the show that day, I said, hey, man, I need to get into that store and actually buy that piece. Totally slipped my mind, went back in to get it. The piece was gone. Next thing you know, it shows up in the mail from Ocular Rhombus, and it was a gift from Pocket Salsa. So Pocket Salsa, brother, thank you very much for this. It's amazing. I love this piece. Gosh, man, this is the sticker on here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It says received First Holy Communion in something church on the first day of May 19, I don't know what year, 99 maybe, 89, I don't know, something, but that's kind of funny, that sticker that's on there. Bam. Ocular Rhombus, another one. Besides that, just looks so damn cool. I think you can probably interpret this however that you want. I know that I interpret it a certain way. And that's why I like it. And it's got a lot to do with this piece down here, which is kind of bleeding. This guy's just kind of like, huh? Right? So, sick piece, man. Ocular Rhombus. Again, thank you, Pocket Salsa, for that one. That is freaking awesome. I'm waiting to see the Plastic Vomit Customs box. Plastic Vomit. You know what, man? I don't have any Plastic Vomit stuff tonight. Bootleg Toyco will have a Plastic Vomit necklace here in the next day or so. I'm sure of it. Next one that we got. Ooh, man, this is such a good one. This is such a good one. I'm sure you guys have been seeing The Real Bernhardt if you follow him. Great artist. I have several pieces. There's some really cool. Let me see what's going on. Swarm says, thanks, everyone. Awesome, dude. Thank you, man. You are the man. But The Real Bernhardt has had this series of creeps lately. I don't know if you guys have seen those or not, but there's a bunch of different creeps. He did some 420 specials, and he did some creeps for 420. He did some for the wrestling show yesterday. When he did this drop, now there was originally just a very small run, I think, and those kept on selling out. Then he started coming out with some different colorways, and those were selling out too. So I kind of got in the position of where, I'm putting one in my cart, going to check out, it's gone. Going to put another one in, go to check out, it's gone. Same thing happens 3 or 4 times. So at this point, I'm thinking, whichever one I land on is fine. Luckily for me, the one I landed on was this bad MFer right here. Whoo! God dang. I mean, come on now. This is rotocasted, so it's not as heavy as it looks. But good Lord, what a piece. Mm, God, that is good. Every single one of these that I have seen come out is great. Um, check out the scale of that dude. It's a big, chunky piece. We'll put them up next to the 3.75, and you can kind of see the scale difference there. Bam. But dude, what a great looking piece. And like I said, I just kind of landed on this one. I would have been happy with any of them. I'm super stoked I got this one. You can tell from kind of the post, and since Toys Alive started, we are very close to these colors here. God, that's good. The real Bernhardt on this one. If you are lucky enough to grab one of these and it's in stock, buy it. Because if you don't, it will be gone within the next 30 seconds. I promise you that. Next one I got, man, this guy has a way of making pieces that are sentimental for me, and he doesn't even know it. And I think with this next purchase I'm going to show you is a great example of that. He had no idea. Um, it's kind of a cool story. So what I got, this is Green Plastic Tunnels, and he did the steamroller football guys, right? I was born in a football family. Friday night lights, Sundays are for NFL, Saturdays are for college. Say what you want about football if you're not a sports ball guy. Um, I was raised in the thick of it. And so anytime I see something that has to do with either coaching or football or something like that, I'm instantly interested in it. This one right here, these ones came in a bunch of different colorways. This one was gray and green. And honestly, not my first choice as far as colors go for these things. But he numbered these instead of giving them names, he numbered them. And this one, as you can see, is number 34. The number 34 is special to me because that's the number that my dad wore when he played college football. He was a running back, and so I picked number 34. So every time I see this, it reminds me of my dad. And I have another piece, and I believe the piece is called Coach, and that's another one that reminds me of my dad. I did a post on that several years ago, and that's another one. So the fact that this one's going to go right next to it is very cool. Where the story gets really interesting is he had sent me another one. And he remembered back to a post that I had done about a piece that was in this colorway, the red and the blue. And I had said something about the Buffalo Bills. And I had actually got a piece from Underworld Customs. And he asked me what colors that I want. And he's back in the Buffalo area, and he's a football fan as well. We started talking about football and the Bills. And I said, you know what, man? I said, make this thing Bills colors. And so that's how kind of that whole thing started. To bring that full circle, the company that I work for, I'm out here on the West Coast. They just released in our company that we are going to be building the new Buffalo Bills stadium here in the next few months, which for us is odd for us. You know, that's across the country in New York. We're sending teams out there to get that stadium built. But the fact that it's the Bills is, I thought that was funny. Nobody else at my work would understand that. I would think more of you would understand that than any of them would, based on the story that I just told you. However, this piece here, he asked me, he said, now you're a Buffalo, he goes, were you a Buffalo Bills fan or a New York Giants fan? I'm a football fan. I'm a Niner diehard, but I said Buffalo Bills. And so I think that's why he chose this color. Now, if you remember what I just said, these were numbered, right? And this one, red and blue, happens to be number 3. Red and blue, number 3. My younger brother played college football and then ended up being he was a quarterback, and then he ended up being a quarterback coach in college. And when he was in college, his team colors, red and blue. I'll give you one guess what his number was. It was number 3. So the fact that I have these two together, 34 and 3, uh, without him knowing that, it's pretty amazing, man. The world works in mysterious ways. That is my example of it working in mysterious ways for tonight. It's you know that's something that I'll never forget when I look at those pieces. As long as I have a sneak a Toys Life sticker into the concrete, dude. Yes, man, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. I'll probably be visiting there a couple times in the next few years, I would think. Anyways, but that's just a cool story about green plastic tunnels. Those ones really hit home without him knowing about it, which is even cooler. The last couple pieces I have for tonight was an absolutely gorgeous box sent to me by Resin Blood. Uh, you guys really, really came through for him the other night, a couple weeks ago, when we talked about subscribing to Bootleg Overdose on YouTube. Uh, got to it just like that. I did talk to him today, and that's going to be a real thing, man. That's going to be a show that is just freaking. That's awesome. It's professionally done. Um, that's going to be something really cool. I talked to Eddie a while back, and I said, "Boy, I really need to get caught up on some of your pieces, man." So we talked about several things, and so we're start going through them on what he sent here. Now this one, I was able to snag this baddie at the drop. This is the vinyl piece, the collab with Pendragon. You guys remember seeing these advertised where they're basically just half and half. I mean, look at that. What's very cool is next week I'll show the one that I just got today from Creature Maker. That's another really, really sick paint app. But this is just a phenomenal piece, man. Not only is the piece really good, the paint is just astounding. Um, just another day at the office for Eddie, right? Bad ass. I love the figure, love the ass, love the paint. Um, that's a great one. That's a phenomenal piece. Pendragon, Pendragon, I'm calling you out, man. You need to come on my show, dude. Enough messing around, bro. Let's do this. Um, Frankenstein, check out that one. The marble action on that is wild. That's a vinyl piece. That is very sick. And Eddie is one of those guys who's doing, yeah, he's been doing vinyl for a little while now, but his last couple vinyl pieces have, I mean, home runs. Bam. Very nice. Next thing up. Oh, God, man thing. I actually took just a real quick picture of this and it came out really good. So I sent it to Eddie and I think he ended up posting it. But look at that thing. And I'll tell you what, when the black light hits that, very, very cool. Fun fake name. What's up, man? Oh, Puzzle Panther, Dolphins colors. Good call, man, on that vinyl piece. Yeah, you're right. Dolphins colors. Man thing right there. That is a resin piece. That is a chunky little piece. That's a weapon if you throw it hard enough. Um, and his name is Ted. You can see it kind of sculpted in there right there. Bam. Man thing. Super sick. This one right here. God, this is a good one. I'll tell you what, man. I took this thing out of the package today, and I just about fell over from the fumes. But you know what I'm talking about. It's really, really good fumes. Dude, look at that 5.5 action right there. Ooh, good Lord. Caped out. Mm, that is a sick piece. 5.5 work. I believe this is only my second 5.5 from Eddie. The first one is an old one, um, which is really cool. Bam. Really, really good paint work on there. Like I said, man, it's the cape. The cape is love the addition of a cape. When you pump gas, yeah, it's similar. It's definitely you know, and it's one of those ones that, yeah, I mean, I know people have experienced this before, is when you open the box and you're just like, oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Uh, this guy right here, man, that's a beauty right there. That is definitely one of my favorite vinyl pieces that I have. Uh, this might be really close to my favorite resin blood piece that I have. The fade on those colors is freaking wild. The cape, how it's cut at an angle on the back, super sick. Nice paintwork on the eyes. But I mean, what a freaking beautiful piece. There was one of these done in this colorway. There was only one, and that thing sold out right away on his shop. And I'll be honest with you, man, I was gunning for that one, and it's gone. Uh, but all is fair because he did hook it up with this one. That is so sick, man. I love this one. I really can't wait to take pictures of this, which I'll probably do this weekend. But Speed Skull vinyl cape, 4-inch vinyl figure, and super sick paint, man. The Speed Skull. We talk about pieces that define artists. I think, in due time, Speed Skull will be the one that, when you say Speed Skull and Resin Blood, it's just going to become second nature to people in our community. That's all the opens that I had tonight. So thank you, Eddie, for those pieces. Yeah, Speed Skull, man, that is a home run all freaking day. Next week, God, next week's going to be good. Next week, I got Cave Dweller Toys coming in. We're going to talk about the GI show coming up in about 3 weeks. That one's going to be really cool because Terrible Toy Works will be joining me to help present that show. We'll go one by one, just like we do in the previous shows. The other thing that's happening next week is the first Toys Alive Big Cartel shop drop, and it's Hurt Toys, and the piece is sick. I don't know how many there's going to be. They are going to be Toys Alive exclusives. I take that back. There's something about them that's going to make them a Toys Alive exclusive, which is another freaking great idea. But yeah, so Hurt Toys next week will be in the Big Cartel shop. I don't know what time. I don't think the shop's probably going to even go live until the day of the show, or maybe the day before. But his piece will be on the day of the show at some point. I'll have to announce that. But that'll be fun. That'll be a monthly thing that we're going to do. I think the first show of the month is going to be the shop drop store or the shop drop episode. And just to be clear, I'm not trying to, to turn into DKE or anything like that. It's a different angle for me. I think it's a different angle for the artists that are going to be putting their pieces in the shop. That being said, I think I have the first 6 months booked up for shop drops. So keep an eye out for those. Those are going to be really fun. That's all I got for tonight. Thanks again to Michael for coming in, S.W.A.R.M.M Co. Please make sure you get over there and follow him. If you aren't already, you're probably living on a different planet at this point. If you're in the Bay Area, get out to his store and take a look. Go to the San Jose Toy Show. That one is every 3 months, I believe. Fletcher and I have been out there a couple times. 6 sales right here. Yeah. And like I said, you can tell that Michael is very passionate about, kind of artists, depending on artists, to kind of spread the word. Make sure that you keep doing that. That's how this thing's going to grow. I don't think any of us can do it on our own. It's a collective effort, and I think everybody's pushing in the right direction. Onward and upward we go. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. I will be doing some posts probably this weekend. And then, of course, next week, Cave Dweller Toys next week, Hurt Toys next week, Toys Live Shop. Thanks again, S.W.A.R.M.M Co. coming in. You guys stay safe. Have a great weekend. Out.